What's up, Van Heist? Welcome back to another week of art. So last time, we were creating our very own mini city, tiny building dioramas. This is what we're going to be creating our street art on. We have our street, we've got our building, I have a city skyline in the background. This week, it's going to be all about making some of those lines a bit more bold and adding color to this, as well as deciding what type of art do you want to put on your building's wall. Remember, for this project, you're the owner of the building, so you get to decide what happens to this entire wall, this whole face that people are going to see. This isn't artwork that's in a museum, this is an artwork for everybody to see. So what kind of message do you want to give to your community? We've looked at a few different artists, some local artists from Madison, like Oh Yeah Studios, Emily Balsley, Triangulador. We also looked last week at Camille Walala. She was that French street artist that works in London. And remember, her artwork doesn't really have words or pictures of things we recognize. Her artwork is mainly about shapes and colors and patterns. So maybe that's something that you want to add to your mini city. The choice is yours, so let's get started. Okay, so this is part 2 of our mini city mural project. At this point, you should have your paper all cut in that super special way, so the building pops out. We have our skyline back here. It's time to start making some of these images a little bit more bold than others. So I'm going to tell you what we're going to do. I'm actually going to use my Sharpie or any kind of black marker you have to go over anything that you have already in the foreground, the area closest to us. So that would be my picnic table, my sidewalk, my door, anything that I have on this building. Maybe you put something on the roof. And then we're actually going to keep our background unsharpied. That's going to make it look a little further away since it's not as bold. So let's start by just going over everything that is below the halfway point on this paper in Sharpie. Or whatever black marker you have. You could absolutely use one of these too. Here I go. All right, so you can see that I went over everything that was below that halfway point on the paper, as well as I put an outline around where my building is, just to really make it stand out. Now already we're getting that effect. This building feels a lot closer to us because of how detailed it is, and everything back here that doesn't have Sharpie on it, what is happening there is what's called atmospheric perspective, or how things look a little bit more faint or blurry the further away they are. So I'm going to keep these unsharpied. I just want those pencil lines. I'm still going to color them in though. For this project, you can use whatever you'd like for colors. Colored pencils, markers, crayons. I think I'm going to do a combination of markers and crayons for this, but you can choose to color it any way that you'd like. I just really want to challenge you to fill in this entire piece to really make this little mini city come to life. So before I start on my actual street art on this wall, I am going to start coloring in the rest of my city. So while I'm working, I'm not going to have my paper like this. I'm actually going to flatten it out completely just like that. That's going to make it a lot easier for me. And remember, if you are using something like a Sharpie, you're going to want some scratch paper underneath to soak up any bleed throughs. So here I go with my background. I'm going to start with the nice blue of my sky with a crayon. All right, there you have it. My background has been all colored in without Sharpie. And it definitely is a nice touch. It really adds almost a lifelike background, but you can still tell that these objects in our foreground, the things that are closest to us, are popping out a little bit more. So now I'm going to start coloring the rest of my area surrounding my building. Then I'll get on to my street art. I'm going to use a combination of markers and crayons for this area. All right, I've finished my entire foreground area, and you may have noticed I added some things to the rooftop of my building. I didn't want it just to be blank. I wanted to try to use that space if I could. So I designed a couple of rooftop garden beds where there is some lettuce and kale growing on top of this building, and surrounding those garden beds are solar panels. So the building can use the sun's energy to produce electricity. All right, now it's time to get on to the main event, my very own mini city mural. I recently found a print that I really liked online by a local artist named Emily Balsley, and she actually works with the Oya Studio people to create murals. She was one of the creators of that big flamingo mural we looked at. And on this print, I really liked the message that it promoted. It says, learn, make, share. And you probably noticed it behind me at the beginning of this video. I think I want to use those words in my mural. So maybe I will make some bubble letters and some colorful designs around those letters. So here we go. All right, there we go. I am complete. You can see my message to the world on the side of my building is learn, make, share. Those are 3 words that when put together like that, I really believe in it. I think it's incredibly important to make sure that you can learn from the lessons you're taught in life, you can learn from other people, that you can make things happen with them. Don't just sit by in life passively letting things happen, but actually make changes happen and share what you know how to make with people. That way, it goes all the way back to learn, make, share. So I hope you enjoyed this lesson. I think it turned out pretty cool. I cannot wait to see how your mini city street art turns out. I'm really excited about this, and I think you guys are all going to do a fantastic job. Don't forget to add your name somewhere in the mural. You can see it right there. Really tiny. I included a little K Lynch just to remind those that are walking past my building to let them know who the artist is. So have fun creating the rest of your mini city street art project, Van Heist. I can't wait to see what you create. See you next time.